1013. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Drink your body.
Welcome into The Drive on a beautiful Monday. A little bit of a chilly Monday, but a beautiful Monday nonetheless here in Cleveland. I hope everyone out there is having a good Monday. A little chilly out there, but man, this is I'm okay with it as long as the wind's not blowing. I don't like cold and wind. I can handle cold as long as the wind's not blowing. How you doing, Jacob?
Doing good, man. A little early for the cold.
A little early, but it's only going to last for 2 days.
It's only going to last for 2 days. I would have liked it more if we were in Northeast Tennessee, like you were telling me. If it's going to be this cold, just go ahead and give me the snow.
Yeah, it's white up there. I've seen scenes up around Knoxville, up in Gatlinburg, up around the I-75 where it goes into Kentucky. It's just pure white up there. But there again, they are further north, and the possibility of snow is greater up there. We got a little spitting snow here for a little bit, but
Mother Nature's just wild. Like, I watched the Georgia game on Saturday, and Kirby Smart was talking. It's a little hot out here. It's pretty humid. Worries about conditioning today. These two teams, yada, yada, yada. And then now we're looking at today, and it's 32 outside, and I have a big goose down puffer jacket on.
Yeah, and then later on this week, it's going to get back up into the 60s again. So, listen, that's just – we've lived here all of our lives. We should not be surprised. This stuff happens all the time. I mean, heck, we've seen days in January it gets up to 60. That's very unusual, but it does. But we got a lot of stuff we're going to get into. Obviously, Andy's not here today, so he is going to miss today's show. But, man, there's a ton of stuff going on out there. And I guess we'll start it off with high school football. Obviously, you know about Walker Valley because you did the game on Thursday, and then Bradley turns around and they win on Friday. So you got you got Walker Valley and Bradley are representing Cleveland and the county here as far as teams advancing in the playoffs. So happy for both those programs, and we will get to talk to those coaches later on this week. But Walker Valley is 8-3 now, and they will play at Sevier County. Sevier County is 10-1. Of course, that game will be heard right here on Oldies 99.1. And also, we're going to televise that game, too, on Mixed TV.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. I will not be on the call. You're going to be filling in for me. We are on baby watch, so being 2 hours away from the misses, and then an additional hour from Chattanooga is just not ideal. But I will be doing the show, the drive on Friday, and then I haven't talked to Andy Jenkins yet, but I might join him. I might take your spot and join him on the blitz.
Just show up, man.
We're just gonna flip flop it, and you're gonna do my job, and I'll do yours.
That sounds good to me. And of course, Bradley on Friday they will travel to Oakland. Oakland is sitting there 11-0. Bradley 8-3. That game will be at 8:00 kick here because they're in the Central Time Zone. 7:00 their time, 8:00 our time, and of course that game will be heard right here on the ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The winner of Bradley Oakland will play the winner of Science Hill and Green Hill. So you got two teams with Hill in the latter part of their names. Science Hill 8-3, Green Hill 9-2. The winner of the Walker Valley Sevier County game will play the winner of Lincoln County and Powell. So listen, this time of year when you advance, you're going to play a good opponent. That's just fact.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bradley for sure. You look at them and you say Oakland's probably favored to win the state, but I would would say the same probably about Walker Valley. I'd say Sevier County is up there on a lot of people's list of teams that are going to make a major run at this. So both teams have their work put out for them. Oakland 11-0. That's
that speaks for itself.
Yeah, that speaks. And then Sevier County only having one loss and winning in the fashion that they did. They went. Knox West had lost to some quality opponents. You look at their 4 and 5 regular season schedule: losses to Maryville, losses to Alcoa, a loss to Powell.
Right.
Like these high level teams, and they were all, for the most part, I think besides Maryville, were pretty close. Sevier County just absolutely mopped the floor. I think I was on the show here
Right.
and saw that they were 27-0.
Yeah.
And so it was something. So it's going to be tough sledding, but I think I trust both set of coaches to go up there with a good game plan and try to pull one out on the road.
Well, I know this much. The confidence level at Walker Valley and at Bradley is probably as high now as it's been at any point of the season. So both teams are going to go up there with a lot of confidence. And listen, Bradley's got a great coaching staff. Walker Valley's got a great coaching staff. They're going to look at the film. They're going to try to evaluate and see the areas where they can take advantage. And obviously, and the opponents are doing the same thing. We all know that. But if these teams can play lights out defense, you give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Well, and the good thing is both schools, both Bradley and Walker Valley, have things that they do really, really well. You look at Walker Valley, they've got 3 guys that are out wide that are 6'4" or better. I mean, they're and with some speed on them as well. You look at Bradley, they can absolutely run the football just about on anybody, but they also have a guy on the other side of the ball, and really a defense as a whole. I know we spend a lot of time talking about A.J. Westfield, and A.J. Westfield last Friday night, I listened to Gary and to Ricky, and they did a great job, but A.J. Westfield was in that backfield just about all night long. And so when you've got a guy like him that can cause havoc, you can go up and you can do a lot of things. So,
well, Oakland's going to be keying on him. They'll probably double team him.
Well,
but when they double team him, that opens it up for someone else.
He's been double teamed all season long.
I know.
And Oakland may be successful, but either way, they're going to have to put 2 hats on him. And even when you do put 2 hats, that's not guaranteeing that he doesn't find a way to fight through that.
Yeah, and of course, we're not as familiar with the rosters of those 2 opponents. I'm sure they've got some really good ball players who are highly touted and very, very highly recruited as well. So we shall see. But listen, it's good to have the opportunity to represent, like I said, Cleveland and Bradley County this Friday night, because it's hard, man. I mean, we just got 16 teams left on both 5A and 6A. So you're in the upper echelon as far as the teams that are remaining.
Well, and I want to give a shout out just to our area in general. You look at what Walker Valley and Bradley did in basketball last year. They went to the Glass House. You look at the baseball programs. In the past couple of years, both Walker Valley, Bradley, and Cleveland, they've all made runs at this thing. And so the time, the resources, the people that pour into our community to make these athletes, what they are, and for the athletes that put in the time, we've got a good thing going around here.
Oh, we do. And, we've talked about that for several months. We won't take a back seat to wrestling.
I was about to say,
any county in the whole state.
I didn't even touch on wrestling. And, we've got 2 of the most dominant wrestling programs. And really, Walker Valley gets shadowed in that some of the times, but Walker Valley has a great wrestling program.
Do, man. Listen, wrestling is king in this county. Now, I'm not into wrestling like Andy is. He's lived it his whole life. Of course, his dad has instrumental in a lot of the wrestling, as far as the success that we've got here. But wrestling has just been huge in this county for 30, 40 years. It just has. It's amazing.
Yeah, and so super exciting. And then you look at the state championships been moved to Chattanooga for football. It used to be in Middle Tennessee. Sometimes it was at Tennessee Tech, places like that. Now, middle school sports are starting to move to the Chattanooga area. I know baseball and softball will be in the Chattanooga area. there's a lot of respect for the athletes and the things that we've got going on in our greater area. So super excited. Hope Bradley and Walker Valley go up on the road and get a win. And like we've been saying for the past couple of weeks, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you're doing something right. Hopefully we can trend that direction.
No doubt about that. All right, I got to get your opinion on a situation that's going on in Major League Baseball. We're going to get college football at some point, but you heard the story about what's going on with those two Cleveland Guardian players. We've got a situation that looks kind of bad, man. I'm trying to find that story. It just came up here.
I saw that they are putting a bet, like a
on
bet
pitches,
limit
on actual pitches. You know, prop bets are something that I've always thought were things you could fix those. We've always heard, prop bets, hey, how long is the national anthem going to take? How long is that going to be? Who's the first team that's going to do this, do that? I think prop bets are where you can really get yourself in trouble. And apparently that's what's been going on with, Clase and Ortiz are involved in all this stuff. And Ortiz, apparently, he has a $500,000 bail right now. This is serious stuff. I mean, first off, we all know that Pete Rose was banned for gambling on baseball, a lifetime ban, and it was lifted after he passed away. I see a lifetime ban coming for these two guys. I do, assuming that this all comes out to be that they can prove all this stuff.
Do you not almost feel like it's more disrespectful to lift the lifetime ban after somebody passes away?
Well, I guess the term lifetime was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess they use that literally. As soon as he passes away, his life is over. So
I would almost rather them just stand on business and say we mean what we mean, and just instead of
forever.
Yeah, and then just saying, I don't know. That seems kind of silly to me. But I'm with you. If you are cheating in really any sport that you are throwing pitches, or you're a kicker and you're missing them on purpose, or there's a lot of talk around the NBA, and there's videos coming out of there's one of Kevin Durant that looks bad. It looks really, really bad. He's not shooting, but he's on the line, like in the box, ready for a field goal, and he turns over and looks over his shoulder, and there's a guy in a Texas shirt that tips his hat at him, and KD starts shaking his head no, and then the guy starts shaking his head yes.
Oh, my! I have not seen that.
It's not a good look.
And the thing that's going on with Ortiz and Clase, apparently several $1,000s in payoffs were sent to them for the outcome of some pitches, best placed on the speed and the outcome of certain pitches, including some that landed in the dirt. This is bad.
Yeah.
And this is just what we know. How many things have gone on like this over the years that we don't have a clue?
I'm sure there's been plenty of it. I mean, it's sad, but I'm sure basketball is one to me that I think if you really did some deep diving, there's probably I'm putting my conspiracy hat on for a second. If you did some deep diving, it seems fishy to me. It just does.
Of all the sports, you think basketball is the one sport you could probably get away with it more than any other?
Probably. Yeah.
I think so too, because like in baseball, I mean, you've got a defensive team behind you if you're trying to do it from the pitcher's mound. Well, and if you're in the batter's box, I mean, gosh, how do you do that?
Prop bets are one thing, but if you're trying to throw a whole game in baseball, if you go out and walk two batters, you're done.
That's right.
You're done. Yeah. If you don't look like you're part of the zone, or if you're throwing meat, they might let you have a short leash, but you can still come back and lose that game. Basketball, you can turn the ball over. You can basically hand out free points. You can miss shots.
Yep.
There's all kinds of things.
In football, I guess field goal kickers, you could probably do something with them, but it's such a team-oriented sport that I think, like you said, I think of all the sports out there, I could see it being easier to do in basketball than any other team sport. Now, individual sports, that's a whole other animal there. I mean, you could get a golfer to do something. You could.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just don't know how you sleep at night if you do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a hard conversation across all sports just because the stuff that came out about the NBA earlier this year, now you're looking at the MLB that's dealing with it. I think there's going to be a conversation amongst leagues, amongst, the people that...
Should they ban prop bets? That's the thing to me. That's going to be the thing that's going to come up. Should they ban prop bets? Because I think it's easier to do those than throw an entire game.
Yeah, maybe specific prop bets. Like I'm trying to think of a prop bet that, like, would so and so scoring so many touchdowns be a prop bet?
Oh, I guess it could be, but that's hard to do that.
I guess not. I'm not a gambler.
What about this? If you get into the officials, the umpires and the officials, if you get in their pockets, now you can really do some stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, there was I'm trying to remember, Donahue or something like that, an NBA official 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, he was caught doing stuff like that. Of course, he was banned for life and everything. I'd have to look into that. I just sort of remember it, but I just think it's hard to do. But prop bets is something that I think that's the one thing you're going to have to address.
I don't really gamble, so
I don't at all.
I'm not the best person to talk about this or to speak on this, but to an extent, yes. I think they should be able to limit. I think leagues should be able to set and say, like, if they're now in bed with the sports books,
and they are,
and which they are, I think they should have some kind of control of what you can bet on and what you can't. If you have those guidelines and you have those rails, over and unders are fine. The spread, that's fine. Things like that, like those are okay. But first pitch of the game,
yep,
that's pretty. That's pretty easy to.
Do you ever watch Bad Beats with Scott?
Georgia had one of the worst ones against Florida. They said that Gunnar Stockton kneeling instead of going in to score was like a $25 million decision.
Was it like the over-under thing?
It was.
Or the
both.
Spread itself?
Both.
The spread and over-under.
It was over on points and the spread. It would have had Georgia cover the spread, and it would have been the over on points. Instead, the under on points hit, and Georgia did not cover.
Yeah, I've seen some football games where, when you got where this Scott says the pitchy woo woo, when the game's like you got to just get the kickoff or the punt and you start pitching it back and forth, where it gets pitched into the end zone, the defensive team or the other team falls on it for a touchdown, and they're like, okay, that just change the over under or the point spread.
I love people watching. Some of my favorite videos are people watching basketball games and like they're gonna cover, like they're gonna be in and then the clock's dribbling out, and then somebody just goes and
jacks a 3 up,
it shoots a 3 and nails it, or like just an open layup.
Instead of losing by 14, they lose by 11, and that's the difference in winning or losing.
Yeah.
That bet, the spread, and everything.
Tough bad beats for sure, but I'm not a big gambler, so it doesn't really affect me all that much. But when you start affecting the game, that's when I have a problem. So those guys for the Indians/Guardians, like I'm cool with a lifetime ban. And to be honest, you should be sitting in prison because.
And here's the thing: what if there are more? Listen, don't put it past them. To more of this stuff comes out in the next weeks, months, however, because there's more than just 2 people doing this stuff.
Well, really, I think they should have put the whole Astros team in prison. So
that's always bothered me. That will always bother me.
2015, right?
Well, you know how I feel about Michigan.
Yeah.
About the sign stealing stuff. That bothers me to this day.
Yeah, like I believe the year was 2015. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's the 15 Astros. Like, to me, in 2015, there was no World Series champion.
Yep.
In the same way that when Michigan won it,
2023,
there was no college football champion.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into college football. A lot of stuff going on this weekend, and interesting to see what's going to happen on Tuesday night when the newest rankings come out. But we will discuss the AP rankings that came out yesterday. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardees. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Don Ledford Chevrolet's Black Friday all-month-long sale. Receive up to 17% in red tag savings on our Chevrolet trucks and SUVs. Take home stock number 251023, a 2025 Silverado 1500 LT 4x4 crew cab with the All-Star package and 20-inch wheels that has an MSRP of $58,800 and is red tag priced at only $47,950. That's over $10,850 in savings or 18% off a truck that you don't want to miss. And hey, we have special finance and leasing options available as well, with first payment not due until 2026. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford Chevrolet. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details and a trade assistance coupon. Don Ledford Chevrolet, where we say yes. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Wholesale prices include qualifying rebates and or plus tax, tag, and title and dealer fee of $649. Must take delivery by December 1st, 2025.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Have you seen what happens when a weed eater gets too close to vinyl siding? Ouch! Choose steel siding from Best Buy Metals, available in board and batten and lap siding options. Permanent siding from Best Buy Metals is custom manufactured to the half-inch for a perfect fit. Stop by a showroom or go to bestbuymetalroof.com to learn how you can protect your structure.
For all of your security needs, call the professional security experts at J. Price Elite Security. Armed or unarmed guards, retail surveillance, transport escorts, high-value transports, event security, and more. J. Price Elite Security is here for you. Call 423-595-9573.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians $22 to $27 per hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And we're going to talk a little college football right now. This past Saturday, we had really 3 or 4 games that really, some very, very close. We did have a couple upsets this past weekend. I don't know if you call BYU getting beat by Texas Tech an upset, but the way they got beat, they got dominated that game. I think Texas Tech really showed what they're made of. But you had a couple games, Indiana and Penn State, maybe the best catch we'll see all season in college football occurred in that game. Indiana, they blew a big lead. They had a big lead at one time. Penn State made a tremendous comeback there in the fourth quarter. And then Indiana drives it down with just seconds to go. They throw the pass. It's caught. The wide receiver made an unbelievable catch to get his foot inbounds with just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Heisman-type drive for Indiana's quarterback, especially staying – like, he got obliterated.
He did. He got hit good.
He got obliterated on that play. And so from everything that I've heard, they teach those routes. You want to run – when you run that route, you try to throw that thing at the goalpost.
Right.
You want them to go up and try to get it. When we watched that live, me and you both talked about that. When we saw it live, I said, no way he gets his foot in. And then I thought that back foot had to come down first. It had to have come down first.
Yeah, when I saw it, I thought he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
But that was third down, so they would have had fourth down had it been out of bounds, but obviously he did get it in.
And then you watch, the ref was standing right over top of it. And I watched Brandon Walker on Twitter today, and, poor Brandon Walker, he's a Barstool guy, big Mississippi State fan. My Bulldogs took it to him this weekend.
41-21.
So he must have been, looking for other things to praise. But I'm with him. He, in a world where we are so critical on officiating, I want to call out a good one. He got his eyes on that and called it right the first time.
He did.
He was right over top of it. He paused. He looked. He saw it. And you could kind of see him acknowledging himself like, holy cow, yep, he did it, touchdown. And what a play by that wide receiver and quarterback combo.
Oh, there's no doubt. Fernando Mendoza, a lot of people say that was his Heisman moment. Let's be honest, man. He owes a lot to if that's his Heisman moment really needs to be given to the wide receiver, because the wide receiver is the one that made that play. I mean, Mendoza did a great job driving him down. There's no question about that. But that catch was just, like I said, it was one of the greatest catches I've seen in several years. But it's what was on the line when he made that catch was what made that so special. In your mind, and we were talking about this before we started the show, the Heisman Trophy favorites right now. I'm like, okay, there's still a lot of football yet to be played. Obviously, you got guys that are propped up. I think that Julian's saying. I think that
Ty Simpson.
I think Mendoza. I think the running back from Notre Dame,
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. I think those guys all are going to be in there. But there's just so much football yet to be played. It could be none of those guys. It could be someone we're not talking about that ends up winning that trophy. Obviously, those guys have a leg up right now. But, man, I'm telling you, I guess if you had to rank the favorites right now, I'm assuming that Fernando Mendoza of Indiana would maybe be the number one guy because of the undefeated season, taking his team down the field for a winning score.
I know we have them at 2.
But, it is what it is.
I know we have them at 2, but, like, and I get we gave them praise because they went into Eugene and won, right? That was like the big game. They had to win it, and they did. But can we just talk about their schedule for 1 second?
Oh, I get it. There's no doubt.
How can you even give a Heisman to, like, when you're looking at they're going to play at the end of the season, they're going to play 2-8 Purdue. They're going to play 3-6 Wisconsin. They just beat 3-6 Penn State, 4-5 Maryland. UCLA is sitting at
3-6.
3-6. 3-6. Then you're looking at, so they got the Oregon win. Michigan State is an absolute crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
They are 3-6. So and then the first 3 games of their season are Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State.
Come on, Kennesaw State's they're a power now. Come on.
So
I'm messing with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I get it.
It's hard for me to be like, yeah, that guy's the Heisman. Like, you went out and beat a bunch of teams that you should have beat, and then you beat one good team that did Oregon lose this? See, this is the thing.
Oregon won.
They ended up coming back and scratching their way and win. See, this is the YouTube TV. It's not even allowing me to do my job properly, and it's starting to make me mad. Normally I can watch 4 games at one time. I'm having to be locked into one on one screen because Hulu hopping back and forth is just too difficult.
Now, see what I did this on Sunday. I watched game day, not game day. It was the show they have at night at the end of all the games. With
on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. I mean Saturday night, real late. Like Joey Galloway, and you got Matt Berry, and I think
they just call it College Football Live.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I watched that on replay on YouTube yesterday. Obviously, I usually watch that thing live around 1 o'clock in the morning, and they show highlights of all the games. So that's how I was able. And you can find the highlights. There's like CBS Sports has a CBS Sports Network. They have a college football wrap-up show. I watched that too.
You're talking about the guy that doesn't ever check the notes on the drive on our Google Drive. Like I watch, and unfortunately this week though I had to be a one-track minded kind of guy and just got to watch one TV, and it really, really frustrated me.
It is very frustrating. I'm still holding out hope. I know that at some point, ESPN and Disney and ABC will all show back up on YouTube TV. At some point. It may be several months, though. That's the thing that gets me. If the college football playoffs begin, this old boy right here will switch his streaming service.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope. I can live without it for a few weeks, but I'm reaching a disappointed. I just, by the way, I don't know if you know, Igor, the head of Disney, he's going to be on the Manning Cast tonight. That'll be interesting to see what kind of question they ask him about this carriage dispute with YouTube and ESPN or Disney. I say ESPN, it's Disney, which owns ABC, ESPN, and all those other stations. So I'm curious if they'll ask him any questions about that.
Yeah. So Indiana squeaked by this week.
They did.
Winning when they have to. Did a good job. I mean, going into Penn State, that's hard. I don't care how good they are. The 3-6 record, whatever. Still going into Penn State and having to pull out a win, that's a big win for them.
Then you got Oregon, like you mentioned that. They come away with an 18-16 win at Iowa, kick a field goal as time expires to win that one.
Yeah, the last I saw of it.
And by the way, the weather there was horrendous.
Was it?
Oh, Lord. Oh, it's terrible.
The last I saw of it, they were down with like a minute 34.
Yeah, they were able to, stop Iowa. Iowa ended up punting to them. They drove down. It wasn't like it was a chip shot. It was like a lengthy field goal, like about 40 yards or so. He nails it. Of course, as soon as he hit it, it was dead down the middle.
Yeah,
and Oregon wins.
Hey, another great game. I almost nailed this one. My upset of the week was Auburn going into Vandy.
Oh my gosh,
they were so close. And Coleman had a game.
Oh, the wide receiver.
Yes,
he made two remarkable catches on the touchdown and the 2-point conversion
back to back.
Of course, Auburn loses the game.
Yeah, but I had that was my upset of the week. So taking them to overtime, I almost feel like I get to take a little bit of credit in that. It's not like they went and got mollywopped by Vandy.
And then Louisville, and I sort of called this. I said, I think California's going to beat Louisville, and they sure heck did.
They did.
In overtime, Louisville settles for a field goal. California goes on fourth down. It was fourth and goal from about the 3 or 4. And they said, heck with it. We're going for the game right here. Win or lose. We're going to win or lose it. And they scored a touchdown to win it.
Do you like that? Do you like when teams do that?
Yes. To me, when an inferior team, and nobody wants to admit that, hey, this team's better than us. How we got this far without getting drilled by them, I don't know. But when you feel in your heart that the team you're playing is superior in talent to you, you just go for it.
Where was that game?
It was in Louisville.
Okay,
it was in Louisville.
That checks all the markers for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in overtime with a team you shouldn't be in overtime with, you're already on borrowed time, in my opinion.
I agree.
You have gotten yourself into a position where you have a chance to go win this. Then the second one for me is if you're on the road, the advantage only goes to the home team. No matter what side, they can flip-flop you both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage goes to the home team. So I don't want to get into that battle.
I'm right there with you.
Give me the 2-point conversion.
And then, of course, Virginia, not surprising. They've been living on borrowed time all year. They get beat by Wake Forest 16-9. And, that's pretty much they're done. Virginia's done. They don't have any quality wins, and both losses are, that's a bad loss losing Wake Forest there. So here's the AP top. We'll do the top 15 right now. Number 1, Ohio State. 2 is Indiana. Number 3, Texas A&M. You can make a case for Texas A&M being ahead of Indiana right now.
I'll be honest. You can make a case for Texas A&M to be the number 1 team.
You could.
In the country.
You can make that case.
Texas A&M has more road, like top 10 wins than Indiana and Ohio State have combined. Now I'm okay.
I get that.
I'm okay with nodding Ohio State because they're defending national championship champions and they haven't done anything to lose that spot. But to me, Texas A&M's schedule, if we're the playoff committee and we're deciding this, I think you look at who Texas A&M has played, and you look at who Indiana's played, and you look at who's won in dominant fashion in both, and you give the nod to Texas A&M personally.
Yeah, if you go like that, you can make a case for Texas A&M. But I mean, Texas A&M, and I'll use this against them. They gave up 42 points to Arkansas.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot of points. They won the game 45-42. But, man, that's a lot of points to give up. But, there again, it doesn't matter. Once the playoffs start, it doesn't really matter. You're going to play good teams regardless. Okay, so where were we? Alabama is sitting there at number 4, Georgia 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon 7. Oregon dropped from 6 to 7 with that close win over Iowa. Texas Tech moves up to number 8. I thought they might move up a little bit more than that. Notre Dame moves up 1 up to number 9. Texas is now at number 10. Who would have thought that, when they had such a poor beginning of the season, but now the Longhorns are in the top 10. Oklahoma, number 11. BYU drops to number 12. Vanderbilt is at 13. Georgia Tech is at 14. Utah is at 15. And Miami and Southern California bring up the 16 and 17. So, and I've said this from the get-go, if USC, and they're sitting there at number 17 right now, if they win out, and that would include a win against Oregon, I think USC will make the playoffs.
It'll be interesting. There's a lot of scenarios that we're going to have to sift through here in the coming weeks. Who's going to be competing for the SEC championship? Does Texas get their third loss, which will put them out? We'll know that this coming.
Well, Oklahoma's same.
Yeah.
If they lose to Alabama.
Yeah. We'll know that this coming Saturday whether Texas still has a fighting chance or not. And then that creates a conundrum for Georgia because they still got to play Georgia Tech at the end of the year. There's a lot of scenarios where, there's just a lot of uncertainty.
Think about this. Let's say Oklahoma and Texas both go on the road and they both win. Now you've got a boatload of 2-loss teams in the SEC. A boatload of them.
Yeah. How do you not put them in?
I think you'd end up with 7. So then you've got, let's say Texas defeats Texas A&M, okay? And, of course, that would be Texas A&M's first and only loss. But you still have Texas with just 2 losses. You've got Oklahoma with 2 losses, Georgia, Alabama, Vanderbilt.
Ole Miss with 1 loss.
Ole Miss. You've got what does the selection committee do at that point?
Yeah.
I don't know. And let's say USC beats Oregon. USC's got 2 losses. Oregon's got 2 losses. Let's say Michigan beats Ohio State. Michigan, they're sitting there with 2 losses. You're running out of slots.
Yeah.
Because you got to give the ACC champion a slot. You got to give the Big 12 champion a slot. The Group of 5 gets a slot. That means you've got 8 slots to go, or no, 9 slots to go. I mean, it's going to be – you're running out of team. Now, what I just said is not going to happen. We know that. They're not all those scenarios would be like the perfect storm. Now, if like Georgia wins, Alabama wins, whether you've eliminated Texas, Oklahoma right then. If Ohio State beats Michigan, you've eliminated them. If Oregon beats USC, you've eliminated them. So then it becomes a lot clearer. But if all these scenarios that we just mentioned actually take place, you could have a situation when you've got 3-4 teams with 2 losses. They're not going to get in because you've run out of slots.
Yeah, and there's still a scary scenario because now the highest,
you got Texas. I mean, you got Notre Dame.
The highest rated ACC school is Georgia Tech, sitting at what did we say, 13?
Yeah, I think so.
14.
14.
Sitting at 14. Let's just say they beat Georgia in Mercedes-Benz, and they're sitting at 1 loss going into the ACC championship, but then they lose.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying?
You can't.
And then
you can't make a team. You can't hurt a team that loses a conference championship game.
Right.
You can't, because Notre Dame has no chance to lose a conference championship game because they don't play in one.
But now you're looking at Georgia Tech, who would be in the playoffs because you're not going to punish them,
and they've got a big win over Georgia.
And then you're taking the ACC champion.
That's right.
As well.
That gives you 2 ACC champions
or 2 ACC schools
or ACC schools. And then you've got the same thing could happen in the Big 12.
Yep.
Right now, Texas Tech looks like they're in because they're sitting there at number 8.
I think Texas Tech hops Notre Dame. I think with the win, not Notre Dame, sorry, Oregon. I think in the
CFP comes out on Tuesday.
I think Texas Tech will be above Oregon.
But Oregon, that win that Oregon had against Iowa, that Iowa was a ranked team in this college football playoff rankings.
But that was
that's a ranked win.
That's a top 10 win, though.
I know, but I'm just saying that was a road win for Oregon. I get that. You're right. I don't know how the selection committee is going to look at this. I don't know what they're going to do. There's so many crazy scenarios, and right now, let me ask you this: are you pro or anti expanding the playoffs from 12 to 16?
I think 16 is where we hit full stop. I never thought 12 was the answer. I either thought it was 8 or 16. And
so that was me.
And really, 16 to me, we've watched it happen in leagues below us in college football successfally.
Oh, yeah. There's 24 at the FCS level. 24.
And so, but for a long time, it was 16 with, when not UTC. I'm trying to think of, I can't.
Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, those teams were in it.
It was 16 for a long time, and it was successful.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And for a long time, I argued for something like that. And this year is kind of proving that there may be. Yeah, we say this every year, though, and if we keep on going, we're just going to end up with what the Big Ten tried to throw out there and say 28 teams. But there are 16 teams right now that could be 2 losses or less.
You can justify it.
That can make an argument. It's not like that every year, though. That's the only thing.
That's the thing. Here's my thing.
But hold on.
I know we got to take a break here in a minute, but there's one thing I want to say. I'd rather err on the side of too many teams getting in than err on the side of leaving a deserving team out.
And is this more so, is this parity across the board more indicative of the phase of college football that we're in with NIL? Like,
I think it is.
What used to not be acceptable, what used to be there was always like an Alabama, an LSU, a Georgia, an Ohio State, a Michigan, these perennial powers. There was always somebody that was dominant. I don't know that team exists anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Like every team on that,
they all have flaws.
In that top 16 could go play somewhere and get beat on Saturday.
Absolutely, 100%. Every one of them.
It's kind of like we're starting to become the NFL.
Yep, parity is starting to rule in college football. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we return, we're going to get more into this. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland, and we'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's beautiful moments on an equally beautiful composite deck. Envision's products feature deep, non-repeating grains and distinct colors throughout each pour, offering a truly unique appearance unlike anything else on the market. Learn more and find inspiration for your project at Cleveland Plywood. Cleveland Plywood Company, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the General Manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
For over 100 years, Mayfield Dairy has been delivering farm fresh dairy beloved by Southern families. In 1983, Mayfield introduced its iconic yellow jug. The new opaque jug helps block harmful light rays, protecting the flavor and nutrients in milk. Learn more about Mayfield today at mayfielddairy.com.
Hey, and if you want a milkshake, just stick that yellow jug out there outside, and you may be able to get one.
That's right. That's right. It's going to warm up in a couple days. It's going to be brutal again tonight and tomorrow morning, but it will start warming up by the midweek. All right, I've got a question to throw out at you, Jacob, and I'm gonna read out the scenarios. Which format is or was the best for college football's regular season? Emphasis is on regular season, not crowning a champion, but which is the best for the regular season. From 1936 to 1949, we had just the one AP media poll. Then from 1950 to 1997, which was 48 years, we had the AP poll and the USA Today coaches poll, which sometimes we'd have two different champions. One would be the coaches champion, the other would be the writers champion. And then in 1998, we introduced the BCS, which we had two teams that were decided by computers for the most part, playing for the national championship. That lasted for 16 years. For 10 years, we had the 4-team college football playoffs, and then last year, and of course this year, we've got the 12-team playoffs. So we all know that crowning a national champion is the ultimate goal, but for the most part, most of the teams in college football are not in that mix. They're just playing to play the games. Do you think does this hurt? And let me ask you, the way I'm trying to read this, all you hear are people talking about the national champion and getting the playoffs. No one's talking about getting bowl eligible, going to a bowl, playing in a bowl. This is a big time thing. Because now all you hear is playoff. And you're getting coaches, I think, are getting fired when they are mathematically eliminated from playoff consideration. We've seen that happen multiple times already this year. Which is best for college football's regular season? What we had for years where it was just the polls and there was no playoff system, or maybe the BCS where you only had two teams where you kind of knew early on if you were going to be in the mix or not, or is it now? Do you like the playoff? Which is one of these formats worse for the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think the AP should ever decide who a national champion is. I just think that's subjective and
voting. You mean?
Yeah, I think that's an opinion. BCS being determined by a computer, there's lots of times where teams were peaking late and might have had a loss that probably were the best teams in the country that didn't get to compete. And so to me, 2 was too little. 12, we're no longer talking about the regular season. And like as a Georgia,
we never talk about bowls.
As a Georgia fan, last year losing to Ole Miss should have stung. Like, it should have hurt. It didn't, because I thought, all right, we beat Tennessee next week and we're in. Yeah. So like if you're talking about regular season, when there were 4 teams, and it was like that perfect balance of like, all right, you can afford a mistake, like you can drop a game, but then you've got to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And so it drummed up excitement for could we get in the playoffs? Do I deserve to be in the playoffs? Because you think there was still, like, Georgia was left out a couple times as a Georgia fan that I thought we should have been in. There's teams that Florida State can make that argument. There's lots of teams that.
Well, I thought the 2023 Georgia team's the best team that's never made the playoffs.
Yeah,
and the 14 playoffs.
And so there's when it comes to regular season excitement, I think 4 was almost the perfect number because what you did in the regular season mattered. And you couldn't afford to lose 2 games. We just sat here and discussed for 15 minutes how many 2-loss teams could get in.
Oh my gosh, it's a boatload of
to the playoffs. And so you're not thinking about these losses. To me, I never was a big bowl guy. Like winning the Sugar Bowl just meant that we came in third. You know what I'm saying? Like it. Yeah. It wasn't something, and I know they have lots of tradition and lots of history. But, like, as a Georgia fan that sat there for years and years and years and wanted their team to compete for a national championship, it always just felt like a consolation prize or like a participation trophy.
I'll tell you what, and I'm a lot older than you, but, man, I'll tell you what used to be really cool was waking up New Year's Day and you were going to watch the Cotton Bowl at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Okay? You get to watch the Rose Bowl at 4 o'clock, 4:30. And then at 8 o'clock, you were going to watch either the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl. So you had the Cotton Bowl was always tied into the Southwest Conference. You had the Big Ten was tied in with the Rose Bowl with the Pac-12 or Pac-10 back then too. The Sugar Bowl was tied into the Southeastern Conference, and the Orange Bowl was tied into the Big 8 Conference. And so you had teams like, and you didn't have a lot of crossover. You had some. You'd have like a second-place SEC team would sometimes play the Southwest Conference champion in the Cotton Bowl because the SEC champion's in the Sugar Bowl. And then the Orange Bowl, usually you'd have the Big 8 champion, Oklahoma or Nebraska, playing a Miami or a Florida State. And then like I said, the Sugar Bowl, you'd sometimes have a conference runner-up playing the SEC championship. But what was so cool about it is the debate that went on during that day. Oh, my gosh, the number 1 team just got upset in the Rose Bowl. That means now we're playing for the national championship game is going to be in the Sugar Bowl or it's going to be in the Orange Bowl. And so there was a lot of debate about that, and things sometimes were haywire. You're like, God, who are they going to vote for in the national championship? You'd wake up the next morning and you'd see the AP has just voted Nebraska is the national champion. Oh, no, excuse me. The coaches voted Nebraska national championship, but Michigan won the AP national championship. That was 1997. So you'd have a split poll. At times, it made it exciting, but there was debate that would go on for the rest of the off season, like who really deserved the national champion.
See, I can't deal with that. See, that's what I struggle with. Is like I need
clarity.
I need clarity, and I need define. Like people claim, like Auburn, all of a sudden just starting to claim national championships that were out like that. That's ridiculous. So to me, like when we went to the playoff format, the 14 playoff, I was fine with that, and I was like you said, either an 8 or a 16 guy. I never thought I would say there's too much football, but last year I did feel a little bit of fatigue in this expanded era. I did feel a little bit of that fatigue, and maybe that's just because I eat, sleep, and breathe it.
I know.
Even come after work and talk about it for an hour on a show. But I would much rather
have a structured playoff format,
have a playoff format, and bowl games not matter than for us to argue about so-and-so should have been, could have been, would have been. Like it was decided on a field of play.
Let me ask you this. So we went from 4 to 12. Would you have rather have gone from 4 to 8?
I've said this before, and I've never really sat down to try to work it out. 8, but with a play-in game. Almost like baseball with the wild card, fighting into that last spot. So you take 9 and 10, 7 and 8.
Okay.
And they play each other. Those final 2 teams get the 7 and 8
So technically
spot.
that would be a 10-team playoff.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, to me,
you could call it you say it's a play-in, but if they're in the mix, they got to be counted.
What do we talk about all the time? They have a top 10 win. They went on the road against a top 10 team. Like we talk about the top 10 like it's the end all be all. Like why not?
And also, let's be honest with this. when we're talking about rankings, we're still just talking about people's opinions.
Yeah.
It's the AP voters in a poll. They've got these teams listed 1 through 25. That's just an opinion.
Yeah.
The same thing going on with the college football playoff. It's an opinion. It's people making to say, well, we believe that these are the best teams. Well, what if you're wrong?
Yeah, it's not cut and dry like
No, it's
like
not
the
cut and dry.
like the NFL
So
and
that's
like MLB.
and that's why and I know there's a lot of the anti automatic bid thing. Because I think the selection committee, they're flawed. They're human beings, and they're swayed, and they have opinions. And like I said, opinions, and that's what we used to have. The polls were national champions were decided by a poll, opinions. Well, people are doing the same thing when they're putting the selection committee together and putting teams in the playoffs. It's still just opinions.
Yeah.
And they can be wrong as all get out.
But and here's the thing with us expanding to 12 and potentially 16, like, yes, where you're ranked to start them is opinion based, but once you're in it, you got to go play it.
That's true too. I get that, and I'm for that part of it too. So I do have some differing opinions. There's the automatic bid getting into the playoffs, or the selection committee putting it, or maybe having a combination of two, which we have right now. Right now, we've got 5 automatic bids. 5. The conference there's 5 conference champions that are automatically in, and the other 7 are selected.
Yeah, and I like that they don't get an automatic bye. Like
last year was a mess.
Like the ACC right now, you're sitting at Georgia Tech having they're 14th. If they were to stay around that 12-10 range, working their way up, and then they won the ACC championship, you're giving them a top 4 spot just because they won a conference. I disagree with that.
What's going to be interesting is that we got Memphis got beat this past weekend.
Yeah, they did.
And now you're looking at South Florida. You're looking at James Madison. I'm sitting there going, because listen, let's be honest, without the inclusion of at least one group of 6 team, we don't have a 12-team playoff. We just don't. It's at 4, and it's not going. It had to be 100%. All the conferences in Notre Dame had to vote on this, and they voted to have a 12-team playoff with the inclusion of 5 conference champions. That means more likely ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC. They're getting in, and a group of 6 is going to get in every year, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and this year makes it hard because there's so many teams that can argue about that 11 and 12 spot that are going to come down to being 2 lost teams, and we're going to sit here and say, are we really giving South Florida?
We're putting South Florida in. We're putting James Madison in instead of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
or somebody like that.
And so that's where don't punch your radio when I say this. If you're not a fan of the 16-team playoff, that's where if you put 16 in, if you're battling for 15 and 16, I'm sorry. I'm glad you get to come. I'm glad you get to be a part. But how many 14, 15, 16 ranked teams are we going to go see win a national championship?
And if you go to a 16 team, that number 16, let's say it's a group of 16. Let's say it's James Madison or South Florida or Memphis.
They're going to have to go to Ohio State.
They got to play the number 1 team.
Yeah.
The number 1 team. They're not going to play the number 4 team or whatever.
And I feel like that's a reward.
Or 5 team.
I feel like that's a reward for finishing number 1.
And
instead of get rid of the buys.
Yeah, I'm for that too. No buys.
Nobody plays a buy. And at the end of the day, Ohio State would have to go play a Memphis USF, and they're still prone to injury. They're still all the things that all these other teams are going to have to go to. They just have an easier route to get there.
And I would like to see 2 rounds of on-campus sites.
Yep.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. These bowls are there's such a fabric of the bowls, the tradition of the bowls. We already have the bowls included in the quarterfinals and the semifinals.
If you move to 16, though, you could justify that.
I think you could justify it.
If you could justify 2 rounds at home, and then because by round 3 you would be
in the semifinals,
the final 4, right?
Yep, there'd be the semifinals. You include the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, and then play a national championship game in wherever. You know,
I just don't know that the other bowls that are getting
they're not going to like it, man.
That are hosting the number 17 and 18 team for the Cotton Bowl. Or
what you'll notice, and I know we got to go here in just a minute. Look at the attendance at these bowl games these days. It's pitiful.
Yeah,
it's pitiful. You've got 50,000 empty seats in a lot of these bowl venues. You do.
Well, and it's because you got kids that are not playing either.
Right, opting out. Yeah, that's, we still got some issues. We for sure do. Hey, listen, we're at the end of the show. Hopefully everyone out there is having a good Monday. Stay warm, and we will be back on Tuesday. You've been listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. For Jacob, I'm Jim.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Cleanup on a couple of accidents. It remains busy through our city. 24 trying to get up through the Ridge Cut. It's been busy on and off over here in the construction zone. This afternoon, 75 mostly southbound, where it can slow down at times here around East Brainerd Road. Watch for radar throughout North Georgia into the evening here on 75, traveling down through Catoosa County.